Good afternoon. It has been a long time since I've done a live stream. So welcome everyone who is tuning in. I want to say thank you for joining me today. Like I said, it has been uh, quite a while since I have live streamed. I'm streaming here on LinkedIn, on my Facebook business page, as well as my personal page, which I have done a couple live streams there, but I haven't done any on my business pages in quite a while. And so I'm excited to be back. The reason why I am doing this live stream challenge with that I'm calling like the wheel of topics is so that I could get back into the habit of doing this and showing up for you all, sharing information, sharing knowledge, sharing resources that you can take and implement into your organization so that you can build and create, build and develop high performing teams and organizations. And so, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Trissetta Washington. I'm the CEO and founder of Profitable Productivity, and we work with nonprofit leaders specifically in order to build and create those high performing teams and organizations. And today, like I said, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing this 5-day live stream challenge where I'm going to spin the wheel of topics and randomly select a topic and then share my expertise with you on that topic. Now, there's 5 different kind of content pillars that I speak around. These are things that are around my area of expertise, and so it our topics are around building high performing teams, emotional intelligence for leaders, leading through change and uncertainty, which I know we have a lot of right now with the change in administration and all of the changes that are taking place, sustainable leadership as well, and preventing burnout. And finally, maximizing productivity and impact. So, those are the 5 key areas that I tend to speak on. So, I want you to get ready for some surprises and some valuable insights. And I want to encourage you to join me each day because you're going to walk away with some really valuable tips and strategies for creating high performing teams and organizations, as well as how to take care of self, right? How to ensure that you have the impact that you desire to have in your organization and your community without burning out in the process, without putting yourself in a place of overwork, overwhelm, stress, and burnout, right? And that's no bueno. That's not good for anyone. We want you to continue to have the impact that you desire to have in your community. So let me go ahead and pull up our wheel of topics and see what it is that we're going to be talking about today. So let me pull that up. All right. And I will say, um, I solicited your topic requests. And so I did get quite a few in, and I added a few of my own in as well. And so let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what topic we're going to be covering today. This is exciting. Supporting your team through change and transition. All right. So, yes, it's funny that that's the topic that we're ending up sharing on because I just mentioned how we just had this administration change, and the current president has been going through making quite a few changes, and that is creating a lot of uncertainty, not just in our professional lives, but in our personal lives as well. And so let's go ahead and dive in. My plan is, or my goal is, for each one of these live streams to share with you kind of 3 tips or 3 strategies, 3 ideas around each one of the topics. And so that's what I plan to do today. So, again, our topic that was chosen or selected was supporting your team through change and transition. And like I said, right now there is a lot we're collectively as a nation here in the US dealing with a lot of change and transformation our in our climate, like our overarching climate as a nation. And then that has far reaching impacts beyond just us nationally, but into our own personal daily lives. I know many people are have lost jobs or are losing jobs because of the rollback of DEI initiatives. There was a hiring freeze at the federal level, and so people who were extended job offers are having those job offers rescinded. And so there's just a lot happening. And it's as leaders, it's very tempting to kind of want to not express the depth of uncertainty that you may be facing as an organization. But I want to encourage you to, number one, to communicate very transparently with your teams, right? You want to make sure that you keep your team informed about whatever changes may be coming down the pipe, whether that is as a result of the changes at the national level or just changes internally because of shifts in business strategy or shifts in who you desire to serve, or maybe you're wanting to add some things. But keeping your team informed and not having them guessing is going to be really crucial. Even if you don't know all of the answers, I know I've seen many times where people have not wanted to take information to their teams or to their organizations until they have kind of all the I's dotted and T's crossed. However, people will get wind that something's going on, that something's shifting. And if you don't address it, then they will start to fill in the gaps themselves. They will start to come up with their own ideas. And so the best way to avoid that is to communicate whatever those changes are, even if you don't have all the details yet. Share the details you do have and let them know that these things are still kind of fuzzy, but as soon as you know for sure, you will provide that information. That's going to help prevent kind of that panic mode taking over. And we know, and I've experienced this myself. I went through an acquisition with the organization that I was working for. And many people, because of the uncertainty and because information was really being withheld, people just started abandoning ship. They're like, I'm out of here. I don't know what's happening. They're not really communicating with us. And so I'm out of here. And you don't want to lose your top talent because you simply are withholding information. So do all you can to keep your teams informed of whatever changes are coming down the line. You also want to make sure you're communicating what the reasons are behind those changes and what the expected outcomes will be. By doing that, you're helping to reduce that uncertainty and you are building trust. You are building trust with those who are in your charge, right? So be as transparent as possible. The second thing that I would say is to acknowledge your emotions, right? Just like you have all kinds of feelings going on, your people have all kinds of feelings going on. And if you can express that to them, like acknowledge it, and also be able to kind of share your own um, concerns, that can help them to feel a little bit more normalized. Um, it's important for you to really recognize that these changes are unsettling for those who work for your organization, those who you lead. And by acknowledging your not only your emotions, but acknowledging their emotions and addressing any concerns that they may have can really help to support them as you go through this period of transition. Provide whatever support that you can so that they can manage the changes that are coming about in a more productive way. Also, kind of little sidebar here, whenever there is change and transition taking place, you have to understand that because of that emotional upheaval, because of that uncertainty, your productivity is going to take a hit. Many people, some people become hyper productive because they just kind of bury themselves in the work to try to avoid whatever emotions or things that are happening, whatever things that are going on. Um, but then you'll have other people who completely internalize that, and it will be very difficult for them to focus and difficult for them to show up fully. So extend a little grace as you're going through periods of transition, recognizing that your productivity as an organization is likely to take a hit, right? And then the last thing that I would say is to, whenever possible, involve your team, right? So bring them into the change process as soon as possible, so that you can get their input. And by getting their input in the change process, you also get their buy-in, right? And we know that when people are bought into change, when people are bought into things, bought into processes, they're much more likely to follow through. They're much more likely to embrace things rather than something just being forced on them. So, you know, get their input on whatever changes that you're thinking about bringing into the organization, and get input from all levels of employee, not just kind of your manager, your executive team, or your middle managers. Get feedback from all levels, especially those people who are directly excuse me, impacted by the changes that you are wanting to make. You also want to um, open the door and provide opportunities for them to give you feedback on what is happening as those changes are being rolled out. What's working, what's not working, where are some things, because it's very rarely are things going to go perfectly when you're rolling out changes. So creating space for that feedback loop to happen are going to be instrumental um, in the implementation of the changes that you're really desiring. And then also, really empower them to contribute to the solutions. Maybe you add some sort of incentives for people to come up with innovative ideas or innovative solutions to business challenges that you're having. Because, leaders, we're not the only ones with the ideas. We're not the only ones who can come up with strategies that enable us to um, effect change, impact change, or to facilitate, I say, to facilitate the impact that we really desire. You have, hopefully, you've hired really smart and talented people to be on your team. So leverage that. Let them step into their zone of genius and tap into their innovation, tap into their ideas, tap into their skill set to get some ideas on how you can make positive changes to be whether it's to be more productive, to be more efficient, or to just have a greater impact on those that you serve. Look to the people who are on your team, right? Doing this is really going to demonstrate a commitment to your it's going to demonstrate a commitment to continuous learning, right? Or to the development of those who are on your team. It also demonstrates humility, right? That you recognize that you don't have all the answers, right? Like, contrary to popular belief, we don't have all the answers. And so leverage the power of groupthink to come up with viable solutions or viable strategies to create the impact or change that you desire to create in the communities that you serve or within your own organizations, right? So those are my three kind of my three things that I would say. I definitely want to encourage you as well. Before I get ready to close things out, I definitely want to encourage you to take care of yourself. Um, if you are feeling a lot of anxiety, if you're feeling pretty anxious because of all this uncertainty that is in front of us, make sure that you're taking time for you. Take some time for self-care. Be intentional about self-care. Be intentional about setting and holding boundaries so that you can take care of you. I say this all the time, but it's appropriate for right now. You know how when you're flying, the flight attendants, when they're going through the safety checks, they say, should the cabin lose pressure and oxygen masks will come down, and for you to put your oxygen mask on first before you try to help those who you're traveling with or those who are around you. And that's what I really want to encourage you to do right now. Be unapologetic about taking care of you, because if you don't do that, if you don't create space to be intentional about your own self-care, then you're going to find yourself in a position where you may need to show up and you don't have the capacity to. Maybe you physically can't do it, or maybe you mentally can't do it. So protect your emotional and mental well-being as we navigate through these changes that we're experiencing as a nation. Um, and just before I close out, I want to encourage you, if you are desire to take your nonprofit organization to the next level and want to really learn how we could potentially work together to help you develop and build that high performing team or that high performing organization, I definitely want to encourage you to book a consultation with me. Just drop in the chat or in the comments. Um, uh, Consult, or you can just shoot me a DM and I'll be happy to send you a link over to my calendar. I'll go ahead and put up the link, my booking link. You can just go to chatwithtresetta.com. I will admit I don't have a lot of availability on my calendar right now. That's why I said to go ahead and shoot me a DM so we can have a conversation about it as I'm navigating. So, my daughter is getting married next week. So I've got that. And I'm traveling quite a bit doing professional development trainings with leaders all across our nation. And so I haven't quite figured out a good system for my calendar yet. For these types of calls. So, but you can by all means go to chatwithtresetta.com and book a consultation, a 30-minute consultation with me, or just shoot me a DM if you don't see a time, and we can navigate and find a time that works for the both of us. So that is all that I have for you today. I will be right back here tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for day 2 of Wheel of Topics. And who knows what the wheel will choose. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an amazing and productive day.